Hi, this is Faith. Welcome to the Faith Washington Show. We will discuss life, business, leadership, family, and fun, and what happens when your view of the world expands. A wide variety of guests will provide insight on how they do business, family, and leadership in their lives. So now, here's today's show. It's Ken. Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us here on the Faith Washington Show. We are live on Facebook, Periscope, 95.3 FM, 1470 AM, and the iHeartRadio app, WWNN. Thank you, and welcome to my lovely guest, Barbara Beckler. Barbara, I'm so glad you're here. She's been on the show before, and she is actually the owner-operator of Living Waters Rejuvenation Med Spa in Boca Raton, Florida. What's the address, Barbara?
425 South Federal Highway in Boca, right across from Royal Palm Place. It's hard to miss us.
You can't miss it.
Can't miss it.
Can't miss it. It's beautiful. You have to go in and see the spa.
Thank you.
It is really, truly the most beautiful spa I've ever been in.
Thank you.
It's lovely.
Thank you.
So, you're here tonight, and you previously had a very large overall day spa
full service.
in Pembroke Pines. Can you tell us a little bit about that so the audience has a little bit of background of where you're coming from?
Yeah, I started in 2000. We had a large day spa, like you said, that had facials, hair, nails, massage, hydrotherapy, all of that. And we were really blessed, loved it. And
you had a big staff, too.
We did, 75 people.
75 people is a lot of people to
big
take care
family,
of.
Big family. And then I got Lyme disease in 2006. And so we sold it, because of that. And then 2 years later, my dad got Alzheimer's. So that's really what shifted, my path down to, down the whole holistic and regenerative medicine.
And just kind of give the audience just a brief description of Lyme disease. And I don't know if all of you know this, but Lyme disease can be very, very, very debilitating.
Yes.
And yes, it's curable. Yes, it's workable. But that's what made you seek what you're doing now, which is really more about the medical and regenerative medicine for beauty and health.
Yes, for beauty and health. So Lyme disease, they're really unfortunately, have found that it's more of an epidemic than a lot of people that are healthy realize. Some people have it chronically, and like myself, I was misdiagnosed for 4.5 years, so I didn't even know what was wrong with me.
They had no clue what you actually had.
So they put everyone in the chronic fatigue syndrome box or the fibromyalgia box, which are really just catch-all boxes for I don't know what's wrong with you.
Right, it's like IBS.
So neuropathy and insomnia and brain fog and vision and tinnitus, the ringing in your ears. I mean, I could just go on and on and on. And usually it's coupled with something else that your immune system was handling you didn't even know you had. I had never met my primary doctor, and I went in after 10 years with purple hands and purple feet.
Right. It sounds like Raynaud's syndrome.
Yes, so everything, and yet they sent me to every specialist,
and nobody had a clue.
And no one had a clue what was wrong
and
until
it always
years
begins
later.
In the gut with the immune system. Always.
And all of these that's where everything is.
That's where everything inflammatory
begins. And that's why
begins.
stress is such a disease.
Right.
So many chronic illnesses really start with stress. In my case, it was an actual tick bite. But, overall,
which not everyone.
know.
Right.
But I also had high mercury from old fillings.
Ooh, did you get those removed?
I got those safely removed.
Yeah, I did too. Remove those mercury fillings. If you've got them in your mouth, folks, go get them taken out.
Yes, because they're leaching. The older they are, because I never had a cavity since I was 18.
Yeah.
So you don't think anything of it.
But it's happening.
It's happening. And if you don't get them removed safely, you can really get sick because the toxic fumes, if it's not removed, you get really blasted.
Yep.
So, we've learned a lot. I was finally diagnosed, with the IGNX test lab. They're wonderful. And I had Bartonella and Babesia. And so, went through a lot of holistic therapies that helped me. And I didn't go on the long-term antibiotics. So I was really blessed.
Good.
I was fortunate.
But that's what opened your eyes to the fact that, wow, there are other alternative therapies to treat such a very serious type of illness that can really put a lot of people down and out.
Well, a lot of people don't realize, for example, that rheumatoid arthritis is an autoimmune disease.
Of course it is.
And
it all begins in the gut. It's in our gut. It's something that's fixable, curable, workable, and mainstream would tell you that it's not. Oh, you need to take drugs, you need to do this.
They're masking the symptoms.
And that's all you're doing.
That's
is you're
all
really
they're doing.
covering things up rather than treating the point of origin.
Yes.
For me, when I was on the bench, it was always about treating the point of origin. Find what that is and go after that.
Absolutely.
Don't just mask it. Don't just give somebody ibuprofen because you've got pain and inflammation, which is absolutely ridiculous.
Well, look at the cortisone shots.
I know.
Out there. And
3 is your max. And there's a reason for that, because you're not helping the body.
They're just rubbing bone on bone, masking it and making it worse. And then they go and then, now you need knee replacement.
Now you need a replacement.
You don't.
No, it's called
No, you don't.
planned obsolescence. It works in toasters and it works in humans. Just don't buy into it.
No. So we offer alternative therapies for people that are non-surgical.
Right.
And they're not looking at an artificial, joint that they're going to have to get replaced again when that wears out. And let's not even talk about the physical rehab and the pain that goes along with that, especially depending on the patient's age.
Right. The older they are, the more difficult it is to rehabilitate.
It is.
Falls can happen. There are many different things that can occur. You can have a stroke. There's all sorts of stuff that goes with that.
Absolutely. And being just put under a surgery, that's not necessary.
Horrible, yeah.
So look at all the
recover.
athletes. Look at the athletes. They're not getting, joint replacement. They're getting PRP. They're getting biologic Allograft so that the body can heal itself. They get an artificial joint, their career's over. And you see them right back out there at the top of their game.
Yeah, which is a beautiful thing. That's what we all want.
That's what we all want. We all should be able to get that.
We all want our body to take care of and go back to the homeostatic mechanisms that it was designed and created to do. God designed and created us so that we would be able to heal ourselves and not depend on outside
drugs,
toxic things that are really going to make the situation worse.
No, it's true.
We kind of made 3 points before the show, and you guys do the bioidentical hormones now. And you're not doing the pellets. I want you to explain a little bit more about that, if you could, Barbara. That would be helpful to our audience. The pellets are very, very easy. I'll give you that. They're there, and then for 4 months, you don't have to do anything. And there are several delivery systems for bioidentical hormones. You've got the creams, and I'll just touch on the downsides, briefly. You've got the creams, you've got sublingual, and then you've got the pellets. Those are the 3 most popular ones. Well, the creams, just like vitamin D, you can be out in the sun, have a beautiful tan, think I can't possibly be deficient. And be totally deficient in D.
Totally deficient in D, which is huge. You don't want to be deficient in D or B12 ever. So if your doctors aren't checking your blood for that when you go in for your
B12 and vitamin D, as in David. Yes, you need to have those checked. Those vitamins are critical and crucial to proper biochemical functioning of your body, without a doubt.
So just like you might not be absorbing the sun, the creams aren't readily absorbed by a lot of people too. There's a lot of factors.
Their dermis and their epidermis can be different. They can be inflamed and not able to absorb, or maybe absorbing a little too much, so their levels get higher than what you would expect.
Think about it as a woman. Okay, you've got nice skin. As soon as you get out of the shower, what's the first thing you do?
Put on lotion.
Put on lotion. Okay. If you don't, how big is the difference in our skin?
Oh, huge.
Okay, so
it's not nearly as soft and
exactly. So if you have on any other lotion other than what you're putting on, how much do you think of that little 2 lines of cream is going to be absorbed versus that wonderfully scented, natural that you're putting on your largest organ? And that really is huge.
I agree.
Because it's competing. This little bitty hormone is competing.
And it shouldn't be competing for anything.
So I think that's, and then how much sun damage someone has, again, the bioavailability. So we use, and it's with a wonderful compounding pharmacy, so they're bioidentical, it's very pure, and Trix and Troches.
Okay.
But they both dissolve under your tongue. So it's in the morning and at night, and it's so easy. And the biggest reason why we do this delivery method is because you have complete control.
Okay.
If someone gets something, and again, everybody's body
too high
is
of a
different.
dose, too low of a dose,
Yes.
they're having some sort of symptomatic issues, then what you're saying is that you won't have a pellet that's stuck in your body that you can't, you could remove, but it would be kind of problematic and painful.
It would be very bad, yes. You can add, but you can't take out.
Right, but for these, for the Trix and Troches, then you're able to adjust the dose.
Absolutely.
Cut it in half, do whatever you need to do. Wow, I'm getting these side effects, and there's an adjustable rate to this.
Because we saw several people coming, you know, from other places that were wonderful places, but they were dangerously high. You know, women dangerously high in
especially in testosterone. Which
and one
can
woman
cause
had a stroke.
Yeah, it can cause all sorts of different symptoms that you don't really want to have.
You know, you don't want to have. So we're very excited about
once
that.
again, we'll remind the audience this is a very rare thing. However, it does occur. Some people are just extremely sensitive to hormonal replacement therapy of any sort. So you've got to be cautious of that and very mindful.
Right.
As a practitioner, you need to be mindful.
Yes. You always, you know, you always want to err on the side of conservative.
Agreed.
Because you can always add more.
Agreed.
You know,
I'd rather do that. I'd rather
more.
you start out low
Yeah.
and titrate upward.
Yeah.
I think that's the smartest way to do it whenever you're doing
we have
any
safe
sort of
doses.
stuff.
Of course, we do everything by your blood work.
Yes.
You know, so we test your blood
first.
and we get your levels and we base it off of that. But again, you know, some people might have different thoughts as to where the safe level, the safe zone is for someone.
Safe zone, but also how you feel. You've got to make sure that the patient feels great.
Yes.
You know what? And nobody operates within the box.
No.
So some people, like me, I'm type AA, so I need my levels of everything to be very high. I don't want to operate down here at the lower end of normal.
We don't want anyone down low, but we also don't want anyone dangerously high.
Right.
So
Agreed.
that's where it's great. This way we can keep the patient feeling great and also safe and healthy.
Very cool. And then the next thing that we spoke about was the ozone therapies, and you are getting that machine in next week, which is very exciting.
Very exciting.
So I want to know what kind of benefits that ozone therapy has. And I'm going to let the audience know, ozone therapy has been around since 1856. 1856. So if you're thinking this is something new, no. No. So tell us the benefits. What does it work on? What does it actually do?
What doesn't it work on? It's amazing.
Well, so what doesn't it work on, Barbara? Help me out with that.
It boosts the immune system. It has benefits just about anywhere. Even when I had Lyme disease, I used ozone therapy. My son was just little at the time. If he had an earache from the pool, it wasn't antibiotics or ear drops. It was put the little ozone in his ear, gone. I mean, it's amazing for sinuses, for ear infection, for an open wound,
antiviral. So you can really use it anywhere in or on the body.
Yes, pretty much. Well,
pretty
you're
impressive.
not going to breathe it in because of your lungs, so you're not going to burn the lungs. But there's so many applications with PRP, platelet-rich plasma. Where we will be ozonating the PRP before we use it for the P shot. Or the O shot, the sexual enhancement.
So it's actually going to enhance those therapies in the body.
It supercharges the PRP even. Amazing. So for the hair restoration, again, we will be ozonating the PRP.
Before you put the therapy.
If we're using a biologic allograft, we will inject the biologic allograft first, which we'll talk about in a minute. And then the ozone right after, and you just see it travel. And you're bringing oxygen to a damaged or dormant cell. And of course, you know,
and it's going to respond.
Amazing.
That's why, you know what? And it's so funny, we're discussing the ozone, but it's also deep breathing that helps the body oxygenate the tissue. Like if you're having intestinal distress, you're having a problem there, one of the best things that you can do, and I always tell my daughter if she has any issues, breathe in deeply through your nose, hold your breath, and breathe out your mouth.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like a circular breathing, meditative breathing, anything that actually oxygenates the tissue.
And it's very calming too.
Yes, very calming, but it literally releases pain.
It does.
When people are in pain, they breathe very shallow.
And they hold their breath sometimes.
And they hold their...
They're tense, yes.
Yes, which is not
We're
a
like,
good thing. Yeah. Well, when you say
Breathe.
breathe, it means deep breathing.
Yes.
Very, very, very deep tissue breathing. And the oxygen from the ozone getting into the tissue kind of does it in an external way, not the same as you would by breathing.
No, not the same as you would
and
by...
it's a different chemistry.
Even treating wrinkles.
Right.
Even just with ozone. Not even in combining it with the platelet-rich plasma, which is amazing.
Okay.
But I'm talking about just treating wrinkles with ozone. You should see the before and afters once a week for 6 weeks. It's like,
wow,
it's
mind-blowing.
Yeah.
Wow.
We have regenerative hand treatments that we're going to be doing.
Okay.
I got one a couple of weeks ago, and it's painless. And this is the other wonderful thing. Like you said, it's been around, for a long time. And it is compared to even some of ours. I mean, the biologic allografts, if you have a chronic illness, if you've got a joint, yes, there's nothing that's going to work like those biologic allografts. But for a lot of other things, ozone therapies are so cost effective. They cost a lot less than just about any other therapy out there.
Would you say that the ozone therapies would be more cost effective than standard allopathic therapies?
In some cases, yes.
Well, so that if the healthcare system would begin to use ozone treatments, then you're saying that it would cut down on the cost of healthcare.
Absolutely.
Really?
Absolutely. And it's
Did
been
you just
around
say
since...
it would cut down on the cost of healthcare? Yeah, I got something to say about that. Healthcare system, it's broken. It's a problem.
That's true. It is.
It's a problem.
Yeah, across the board.
It needs all the help it can get. And Carmen Care laser therapy too. Leslie Carmen having an event tonight that we were just at. And yes, that would really, really assist our healthcare system as well.
Yep. It's even great for, patients that are in pain, pain management, and, again, the immune system, that's what we want to heal across the board.
Of course, because your immune system is where everything begins and ends.
And that's in your gut.
And when it's in the gut. And when it's offline, then nothing works.
It's going to show somewhere or everywhere. Yes.
Not a good thing. So we talked about the immune system and then also the mitochondria of the cells. The mitochondria are actually the powerhouse units of each and every cell, and the ozone works on that and supercharges that.
Absolutely.
Is that correct?
Yeah, it's at a cellular level. So absolutely, it's going to increase your energy. And we already talked about, it's antiviral, antibacterial. So there's no real downside to it.
So no side effects either.
Of it
so no side effects.
No side effects.
Yeah, I like no side effects.
Very safe. Very
Love
safe.
it.
And that's why it's still around. That's why it's still around.
But it's really not given the credit or touted because it's not
expensive.
Doesn't cost a lot of money.
Yeah, it's true.
I hope everybody's listening to this. I love to drive a point home. Okay, so what about cancer and chronic infections?
It definitely has a role in that as well. I mean, a lot of holistic therapies are great for both of those. I mean, a cancer patient, especially someone who's older, in my opinion, everyone that I've seen that's past a certain age that, goes the conventional way, it's just a quicker and not a comfortable way to go. It just quickens, what they already probably thought. I'm going to die from this, and then they go for the chemotherapy and what have you.
The body,
and I'm not saying that there are exceptions. Praise God. I hope there's a lot of exceptions. But you and I have both seen.
We've seen.
Unfortunately,
we've seen
that's most times not the case.
Right. Agreed.
Especially past a certain age.
Agreed. And we also talked about that it increases metabolism, destroys chemical toxins.
Yes, you can detoxify. It helps detoxify the liver.
Okay.
You know, so
How about the
it's
kidneys,
amazing
everything?
for that. And the biologic allografts, which we're going to get into
that's next. Yep.
are amazing.
So biological allografts.
Yes.
And we spoke about that prior to the show. Yes. Stem cells are in your body.
Yes.
Biological allografts are outside of your body and utilized to supercharge your own stem cells. So explain to us how that works. So we're now talking about the biological allografts that we alluded to earlier.
Yeah, I want to dispel the myths about stem cells. It's not like, you're putting someone else's stem cells in your body. You're not. These are viable cells that are from a pre-screened full-term C-section donor.
Okay.
And they are from the amniotic fluid, derived from the amniotic fluid and umbilical cord tissue. And we use these, say, in a joint, to inject into the joint, and they supercharge your own stem cells.
Okay.
And start to regenerate and repair that joint.
Now, what about those patients that might be concerned, oh my gosh, this is from somebody else's body and it's contaminated with blood or DNA? What about that, Barbara?
There's no DNA. There's no DNA from the mother. There's no DNA from the baby.
Okay.
So there's no DNA, so they don't have to worry about that. And what it's doing is, again, in the beginning, because we knew when all of this first came out, right, that this was the future of regenerative medicine. It was so exciting. But but we knew that every day it was going to be something that we're learning because it is new. And so just keeping, I'm just fascinated, and I'm constantly, I love to learn. So in the beginning, everyone was like adipose tissue. So the biggest concentration of adult stem cells is from an adult's fat tissue.
Got it.
The problem is that it's only as good as the patient's, the age, and if they're already chronically ill.
Right.
So you're going to take out damaged cells and then put them back in you.
This is a problem because they're going to regenerate and they're still damaged. So
they're not going to do the job. They won't hurt you.
Right. Dysplastic cells don't replicate appropriately.
Exactly. So you have that, or you have these brand new cells.
Okay.
That will go in as signalers to your own adult stem cells, and then they're the messengers, and they get sent out to do whatever healing.
Right, which is how the body works.
Which is how the body works.
It gets signaled on a receptor site on the cell, it gets plugged in, and then you get that messaging system that goes out through the humoral immune system and goes everywhere it needs to go, or your circulatory system, whatever it is we're dealing with.
Right.
And those young, fresh cells are what are going to make the difference in that, causing the body to align and to heal itself.
We've seen amazing results. I'm getting ready. We're going to do a couple testimonials with Lyme patients and, people that were really, really ill. I mean,
seriously
ill. And 20 years chronic Lyme, double black mold exposure, had to cancel her first 5 consults because she couldn't get out of bed.
Wow.
And now she's traveling to Denver and going for 10 days to see her favorite group from 20 years ago.
Wow.
And, I'm just so blessed to be able to, help people, and the future is very bright. The guidelines are very, very strict, but we comply with all of them.
Everything. I know you do.
We do.
I know you're a woman of integrity, and that's how you operate your business. And you love your patients.
And we love our patients.
Absolutely. So the biological allografts also work great for joints. We mentioned the chronic illnesses.
Yes.
I would assume that...
Just anti-aging, too.
Okay.
Brain fog, just...
So there are implications for everything that we've spoken about tonight for even maybe Alzheimer's.
Yes, we're very
Parkinson's.
Hopeful. Yeah, we're very hopeful.
Maybe
for
some of the more really serious
It has the
things.
potential. It has the
How about
potential.
MS, multiple sclerosis?
We're treating, a lovely lady right now, and there are several centers around the country that are doing therapies to try to improve the health of patients with Lyme disease or MS.
Okay.
They're doing a lot of work with autistic children and a lot of testing.
Have you seen any results with that? Have you seen, like, even from other facilities?
From other facilities, we have. Now, a lot of the results are still on, especially with autism, are from other countries because they're allowed to
because they're allowed to do it.
To do more. They're allowed to expand the cells. We're not allowed here. So, I'm watching that very closely, to see what the results are. And again, we need to comply and follow the guidelines of what is allowed here. Course. So we do that. But is my prayer that they are able to help them? Absolutely. I just feel bad. And I understand we definitely want to be safety minded.
Of course.
With all
safety
things.
First, yeah.
But safety first, right? Especially with our kids. How many times has my son heard that? And he's almost 21. But, it never stops. But again, it's just when you see some of the results and the promise that this holds, I'm really excited.
Yeah, it's a very,
excited.
we really, folks, we live in a very exciting time for healthcare, for technology, for all the things that are available to us. And I think that if we just keep our focus on that and keep moving forward, I think that people like yourself and Leslie and many of the people that we know that we're associated with, Brian and Lauren over in Sarasota with Heal Us Health, Sarasota Integrative Healthcare. There's so many people that are really advocating for these alternative therapies that are more cost effective, fewer to no side effects. And I think it's time that the healthcare system turned around and that we really make a difference in ways that we can all live with, that aren't going to toxify our water, our air, everything else. I mean, look at what's going on over on the West Coast with the red tide and the bacteria and the stuff getting dumped into the water. My daughter and I were just over there, and it's, trust me, it's really kind of ugly.
Yeah.
And I think that we can do better.
We can.
I really believe that we can.
We need to reach out.
Barbara, how can the audience reach you? Folks, listen up, please. Twice. Give us
twice.
Us
a call. Come in for a complimentary consultation. We are always love to talk with you. If we can help you, we would love to. If we can't, we'll guide you.
Yes.
If there's someone else that can.
Right.
If there's something that we don't know or that we don't do, we'll tell you that too. We're going to treat you like family. We really are passionate about what we do.
What's your phone?
Call us 561-894-6006. We're in Boca at 425 South Federal Highway. Living Waters Rejuvenation Med Spa. Thank you.
Thank you, Barbara. Thank you so much. Thank you, folks, so much for joining us here on the Faith Washington Show. We are live on Facebook, Periscope, 95.3 FM, 1470 AM, and the iHeartRadio app, WWNN. Have a great night. We'll see you next week. Same time, same place. Bye-bye.
Hey,
thank you. You've been listening and watching The Faith Washington Show, where we have widened your view of the world. Our guests share their business, family, and fun life hacks to make your world better. Hope you've learned something to apply to your life and business.
The opinions expressed on the preceding sponsored program were strictly those of its hosts, guests, and callers, and not necessarily those of the